Hey, what's up, guys? Um, this is Ryan here with another video. What I'm thinking about doing, what you're seeing here, is me playing Monopoly. I'm thinking about making a whole nother YouTube channel, depending on how well this one does. This is the entire game. I have it sped up ×2, and that kind of gets a little annoying because it's a little too fast, but unless I did it like that, it would be like a 90-minute or 2-hour YouTube. If you want to see more of my Monopoly content, give this channel a like and a subscribe. If not, just watch for a minute or two. If you're a really fan of Monopoly, then you'll love this. It's a really good game. It's only a 2-player game. I wanted a 4-player game, but I just put it on random. 2 to 4 players. It gave me 2 players. Made the game go by quicker. There's some strategy that you'll learn if you continue to watch. And I'm not the best Monopoly player by far, but if you have any critiques for me, if you can tell, I'm the green flag and the money bag token. If you follow along the game, you can critique my gameplay, critique some of the trades that I made, or learn a thing or two from some of the good things that I did. I ended up winning the game. Spoiler alert. So if you've watched the first 5 minutes of the video, then you just found that out. If you continue to watch, you'll see how I won the game. At the beginning of the game, I started off really bad. I owed $200. Landed on that space. Then he kept landing on chance. Then I bought a railroad. Then we actually got into buying some of the properties. We did several trades. All of them benefited me. He kept trying to trade me because I had one of the yellows. He wanted that. He kept trying to trade me that for the green. There was only 2 of the 3 green properties that were bought at the time, so I kept saying no. I think that I got here. Yeah, here's where I traded him. I messed it up a little bit, but I ended up I paid $330, gave him a railroad and the Browns, and I got the light blues. And I put 4 houses on each light blue, and I didn't put a hotel because in a 3, 5, or 6-player game, you're going to want to not buy hotels to create a housing shortage. But for this, I just put 4 houses. From 2 to 3 houses, the rent triples. If you didn't know that. And the light blue and the orange are the most landed on properties. In my experience, at least playing on this app, the Hasbro app. They say that the reds are the most landed on, but every time I buy the reds, nobody ever lands on them. I don't know what's up with that. But yeah, if you keep watching, this is probably a quarter of the way through the game. He ended up getting the orange, but he couldn't build on it. I ended up trading him eventually toward the end of the game when he had no money. Another thing I did is he would land on a random property, say Illinois or Kentucky, and where I would land on it, and I would auction it because he ended up having very little cash. So what I would do is I would bid up until the mortgage value and stop. And he'd go $20, $30, $50 more, and he'd have to mortgage a property to come up with the money because he didn't have any cash flow. That's another thing I did. So yes, if you want to see more Monopoly games on my channel, I may end up doing a few things if this content gets a lot of views. If you're still watching, or probably almost halfway through the game. It made it a quicker game because it was only 2 players rather than 4, so you didn't have to, as soon as you bankrupted somebody, the game was over. It looks kind of weird with it fast forwarded in 2, but even by doing so, I made it a 45 minute video versus like a 90-minute video. This is by far the longest YouTube. If you look at my other content, it's sports cards, it's just a bunch of random crap. I have 14 subscribers. You could be the number 15, 16, 17th. Maybe I'll get 20 subscribers. Maybe I'll get some more subscribers. If you were still watching, go ahead, like, subscribe, and share this video if you like Monopoly content. Yeah, we kept landing on free parking, but I have the classic rules, so you don't get anything for free parking. Here's one of the auctions. Yeah, like I said, it's in 2 times speed. It's a little hard to follow by doing that, but it makes for a much shorter YouTube video. Whether anybody is still watching at this point, I don't know, because most of my YouTube videos don't get very good engagement. I just thought I'd try doing this and see how well the content does, and I'll record more games if you guys like it. So yeah, he kept trying to do some stupid trades. First he would do yellow for purple and make me pay. He'd do yellow for green, and that was just no-go because it was only 2 out of 3 green properties, and I would give up a Monopoly, and I'm not going to do that. Like I said, if you have any Monopoly advice, drop it in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, drop it in the comments, subscribe, and I'll make more recordings of more games. Let me see. Yep, I got Boardwalk. Ended up getting Boardwalk and Park Place. And I had a Monopoly on that. I had a Monopoly on the purple, and I had a Monopoly on the light blue at the end of the game. People say the red is the most landed on, other than the orange, because when you get out of jail, you go to the orange. I've had some luck with both, but for some reason, a lot of games I've played, I've had either one or the other, orange or red properties, monopolies. Either I can't build on them, or people just skip over them, and that just infuriates me. I play exclusively on the Hasbro app. If you want my game code, I could give you that if you ask for it in the comments. If anybody's still watching at this point, go ahead and give me a like and a subscribe. And if you want to see more Monopoly content. I think we might be at the halfway point of the game. He did have a monopoly on the Browns. But it was only a couple $100, so it didn't really do much. Yeah, he had a monopoly on the yellow, but it never had enough cash to build on it. He ends up getting a monopoly on the orange, but only has one house on New York. I landed on his orange a couple times, but $44 isn't going to break the bank. And I only landed on New York once, maybe twice. Yeah, it goes by fast, but I think you could follow the game pretty well. Even though it's 2 times speed, like I said, it'd be like a 2-hour video if I didn't put it in 2 times speed. Towards the end of the game, I actually ended up buying hotels, but I had to make sure that he couldn't buy any houses by the time I did that. So it was within the last 10 turns of the game. Community chest and chance were landed on probably 24 or more times. It's really odd amount for a game. But yeah, at the very beginning of the game, I got those cards where it says that you have to pay per house or per hotel out of the deck pretty quick, and I was glad about that. Yeah, what broke him down is he kept, like, literally almost every time he went around the board, he would land on my light blues. It's only $400 a pop, $450 a pop. But if you land on it, if you gain 200 and you have to give up double that every time you go around the board, you're not going to make any money. Yeah, there he had orange properties, but other than one house on New York, he couldn't do anything with it. So it didn't break me down at all. This is probably 3/4 of the way through the game. Because at the end of the game, I end up owning Boardwalk and Park Place. Spoiler alert. That's if anybody's still watching. Maybe you fast forwarded through the beginning and want to see the end. Other than making the video faster and the voiceover, didn't edit this at all. And I used the screen record to create this content on my iPhone. See, he's starting to mortgage because he's running out of money, and I have plenty of money at this point. Went from me having $300-400 to about 2,500 at one point because he kept landing on my stuff. It was hard to bankrupt him, but not that hard. It just took me a while to get the trades facilitated. There he goes, landing on my stuff again. So if you are still watching, if you fast forwarded through about 30 minutes, or you watched the whole thing, congratulations, we are almost to the end. If you could see the board, about half the board is mortgaged at this point. And I end up owning 3 monopolies, having houses, actually hotels. I waited to the very end to buy hotels and might have made it a 10-minute shorter game, but I didn't want to risk him having the money to buy houses on the orange. If I sold my houses to buy hotels, that would alleviate the housing shortage that I created with only 2 people, because I had about all of the houses. And there he went bankrupt by landing on Boardwalk. I ended up dumping hotels onto Boardwalk in the last 5 turns of the game, and that's how I won.